Brandon, coming back to you, as I said I would, has the US proven itself an unreliable or ineffective mediator in this conflict? Because it seems that President Trump doesn't follow through with what he says he'll do.
So this is a very real problem, not the fact that he said this. The problem is we don't have any more economic arrows in our quiver, if you will. We have thrown every sanction imaginable since the Russian annexation of Crimea in 2014. We have thrown everything that we could muster at the Russians. And the Russians, people seem to forget, the Russians are a commodities superpower. They have the ability to be self-sustaining. They have the ability to sell vast amounts of energy, rare earth minerals, etc., to countries notably in the global south. So now when people talk about sanctions, what they're really talking about is not sanctions against Russia. We've done all that. What they're talking about is sanctions now against India. Sanctions against a country like India that we absolutely require to have on side in order to contain China, which is, again, the bigger threat to my country. And so the Ukrainians would have us alienate, we're already doing it, alienate India. We've already alienated them over other issues, but we're going to alienate India now. We're going to put them into the BRICS camp, which they're now moving toward, and at the expense of our grand strategy, also that Ukraine can maybe last on another 6 months in the war. Instead, the rational thing to do would be to say, sanctions are a canard. They don't work anymore. We've done everything. The Russians, according to Mark Rutte, the NATO Secretary General, Rutte said earlier this year that the Russian defense industrial base is producing every 3 months that which it takes the entirety of NATO's industrial base to produce in a single year. There is no more fight. The war is over, and it's time to get a negotiated settlement so we can salvage something of Ukraine. And I disagree as well about this idea that, well, the Russians go into Ukraine, the Taiwanese or the Chinese are going to go into Taiwan. I think that could happen anyway. These countries don't care about our international law. It's very quaint to them. And frankly, the United States doesn't really operate according to international law anyway. Ask anybody living in the Middle East. So it doesn't. This is a moot point. It's a new world order. It's a tripolar system. America, China, and Russia are going to have to figure out a new way to do business so we don't end up in a nuclear world war, which is where this thing could easily head.